Fighting for truth, justice, strippers, and whiskey. Did I mention strippers?
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, right there.
I'm leaving right after this drink. Rock and roll, whiskey, and other stories with Brian Shaw.
Cheers. Yeah. Welcome to I'm leaving right after this drink, rock and roll, whiskey, and other stories. It is episode 30. Oh, man, my friends. I'm excited. It's like the third one for the month of January. I mean, like, who is this guy? Well, let me tell you what's going on, because I think part of it is the fact that I can't do a whole lot because my back has been killing me, as I mentioned in my previous episode. But let me tell you, this time around, oh, it got bad. Last week, as much as I would like to tell you that I was like putting on my Les Paul and gonna like do some crazy fucking guitar playing and that threw out my back, nope, not the case. I was actually in a department store trying on a pair of jeans, and yeah, my back went, hey, listen, dude, not happening today, buddy. And out it went. And it should be noted, by the way, they were not skinny jeans. Skinny jeans is not a good look on anyone, okay? Remember that. Man, I don't understand why people wear those things. Bunch of weirdos. Back goes out in the department store. I get home somehow, and I managed to do a face first Nestea plunge into the bed. So for those of you younger folks, go look up a Nestea plunge. But I did one face first into the bed. And then I get in bed and I'm like, well, now what? It takes me like 20 minutes to take off my jeans, which is absolutely ridiculous. But you can only do so much, man. Your back's tight, like nothing's working. Muscle relaxers aren't kicking in. Like it is absolutely the craziest feeling. So I finally managed to get myself a little under control in my bed. And then I'm like, okay, now what? Like you're kind of effed if you need anything, right? It's hard to walk. You can't really get out of bed. Like it was just a disaster all around. The next day, I'm thinking, you know what? It's going to be a little bit better. No, didn't happen the next day. The next day, I'm like, oh, geez. Like I couldn't do hardly anything the next day. But by Wednesday, my friends, holy shit. Down for the count. Literally could not stand up. I'm crawling to my bathroom. I'm crawling to unlock my door to get some help for some food being delivered. And then I'm like, oh my God, I got to crawl back to my bed. Like it was just not good. Like it got so bad that my parents had to stop by to bring me a walker. Yeah, this dude walking around, shuffling around. Let me rephrase that. I was shuffling around my apartment with a walker. Yeah, it was not pretty. I get a doctor's appointment, man. I'm like, I don't even know if I'll be able to make this thing. I don't even know if I can stand up to get there. Well, luckily, I got a little bit stronger muscle relaxers, and oh man, did those work some fucking wonders. Let me tell you, by Wednesday night, I was shuffling a little bit better through my apartment, even though I was still having to use a walker at times. And, make it to the doctor. It's still everything that has been told to me over the years. My L4 and L5 are jacked. And you know what, Brian? You're just going to have some aches and pains. Oh, fantastic. Aches and pains is one thing. Not being able to walk is a whole different ballgame. So for those of you who are watching, you'll notice that I am sitting down tonight as opposed to standing up like I really like to do when I do these things. But hey, got to do what you got to do, man. So here we are. And, the back is getting better. Things are moving forward. And, I'm hoping for the best. It's the first drink I've had in a couple of weeks. So kind of excited about that. The Jack Daniels and ginger ale is tasting pretty damn good tonight. And I got to thinking, like, what else can I talk about besides my hurt back? Well, I think it's time we talk a little bit of music because it has been a while since we talked a little bit of music. And I thought, man, what can I talk about? Well, there's a couple different things that we're going to talk about as far as music goes. So let's first talk about AI and music, because I got down a rabbit hole not too long ago of AI created music, and it was cover songs. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing. was like, what the fuck? I've never heard anything like this. I've never heard a band ever try and cover some of these songs. Like, it was absolutely insane. And the fucking music was great. That was the thing that was killing me. And I've heard some of the AI stuff that's out there, and I've even, listened to more of it on YouTube, and I'm just like, I can't believe some of this stuff that's out there. I mean, there's like some crazy, like dirty lyric shit that's out there that is absolutely amazing. There's some great cover songs. I've heard like a slowed down, like countrified version of Black Sabbath and Paranoid. I heard a really cool, like country, again, kind of a country rock thing of Radar Love from Golden Earring. I heard a super cool version of George Thorogood's I Drink Alone. And I got to tell you, I've been a fan of George Thorogood for 35 years, and I've never heard anyone even try and cover a George Thorogood song other than Blackstone Cherry when they played Bad to the Bone one time when I saw them live. And this version of I Drink Alone is like this total, like, version you would hear probably like if you were in like New Orleans, and it had like some horns, but it had a little bit of like cool, like metal guitar to it. I mean, it was just absolutely crazy. And I'm sure if you just like go looking for it on YouTube, if you just Google like AI version of I Drink Alone or something, like it'll eventually come up. And it was badass. A girl is singing it, or a voice of a woman is singing it. And it was just so freaking cool. There's some really cool dirty lyric shit out there too. And there's one by, you can look up a song called Eat My Peach. That one's pretty good. And some of these are so good that I've literally went to like YouTube to MP3 and downloaded this shit and put it on my phone so I could rock out to it in my car when I'm, driving around and shit. So it's pretty wild right now. And it makes me just ask the question again. I feel like we're in this kind of like, man, what's going on in the music world? Like, for what I listen to, I'm like, man, there's just not a whole lot of shit coming out. Like, I'm looking forward to some albums that, that are on the horizon, like a new Brother Kane record, I think, is coming out in April. The new Megadeth just came out this past weekend. We're going to talk about that here in a second. But it's just wild to me that we're in this situation where it's like, dude, where's all the like creativity? Where's the cool new shit? Like, what's going on? And then you stumble on AI music and you're like, dude, this shit's great. Like, to me, if you're a record label, why not just AI a bunch of great shit and then hire a band to go and play it? Done deal. Cost you no money. It's amazing. You got to pay the musicians. That's about it. Like, it's just crazy to me, man. And there's some really cool shit out there. And of course, there's a lot of, horrible stuff out there also. But I'm just giving you a heads up that if you want to hear some fucking cool shit, just get into that rabbit hole, man. It's a pretty easy thing to do. So, as I mentioned, the new Megadeth album came out last weekend. I got to tell you, man, I dig this album. I think the last few records from Megadeth have been on point. They've been kick-ass. And, I had a friend of mine say that he didn't really like how it was mixed or engineered or whatever. And I'm like, my ear can't hear that shit. So I guess my hair's in the way or something. I don't really know. But I think this record, the new one that is quote unquote their last album, is pretty damn kick-ass. The version of Ride the Lightning is super cool. I may be in the minority on that. I'm not really sure. But I dig it. I dig the record. There's a song called Hey God that I'm really into. Let There Be Shred. Some of the stuff that's already been that was released, to get you psyched for the record. Those songs are great. Like, I think this record is pretty freaking solid, from beginning to end. And another reason why I wanted to kind of talk about this record was because I just felt like I've met Dave Mustaine a number of times over the years and always been a super nice guy to me. I've heard some horror stories about other people that have met him, but I got to tell you, man, every experience I ever had with the guy was absolutely the coolest experience. And so tonight I thought I would talk about like the first time that I met Dave Mustaine, because also what's going on at this time, I believe, is like NAMM out in California, where all the musicians and, music companies get together and all that kind of shit's happening. And so the first time I ever went, I went with a buddy of mine who had some connections in the industry, and it was so crazy. We somehow or another, we snuck into this party or something that was going on. And like we're standing like, oh my God, like, hey, behind me is like the drummer from Judas Priest, Scott Travis, he's right there. And this guy's over here and that guy's over. I'm like, wow, man, this is fucking wild. And we're like in like a like a ballroom, I guess. And I got to see Megadeth perform in a hotel bar. Like that was pretty fucking kick ass. I'm like, dude, who gets the chance to see Megadeth in a hotel bar? That was pretty badass. But before they performed, we're kind of standing there and there's like this velvet rope, like just kind of blocking off like this, like I guess like a VIP section. And next thing I know, my buddy's like, hey, dude, like Dave Mustaine's right behind you. And I kind of, really? And we're like, oh, how about that shit? Now, at this time, you got to remember, this is right after the tragedy with Dimebag Darrell getting shot on stage. And we just kind of did one of these, whoop, and just kind of stepped over the rope. Like there was nobody there, like making sure that people like us didn't go over that rope. And my buddy just, he steps over the rope, and then I stepped over the rope. Next thing you know, we're like shoulder to shoulder with Dave Mustaine, and he's talking to a couple of other folks, and then turns around, and we're like, hey, Dave. And he's like, hey, guys, what's going on? And we chatted with him for a couple minutes, and then we're like, hey, dude, can we get a couple pictures? And he's like, yeah, no problem. And dude, he was super nice. We chatted about like music and some other shit that was going on. I can't even remember the whole conversation, but it was like, dude, this is fucking wild. And like my buddy gets this cool picture with him. I get this picture with him where it's like me and him have been buddies for like 20 years. It's still one of my favorite photos. And it's just like, dude, like we just met Dave Mustaine from Megadeth, dude. Like how fucking cool was that? And, it's just like, it was so trippy to me at the time, because even still, after even having been in the radio side of things for a few years, it was still kind of wild just to, to meet him. And at the same time, I'm like, dude, like I'm still a huge fan of these bands. And it was kind of like, man, that was pretty fucking awesome. And then, as the years progressed and I met some more people and met him again, a few more times over the years, and you hear these stories about how he can be and his temper or whatever. And I gotta tell you, man, Mega Dave was always pretty damn cool to me. And I appreciate that because, it's just one of my favorite metal bands. And I love Megadeth. I go back and forth sometimes and I go, you know what, man? Metallica's kick ass, but man, Megadeth I think is better. And there's other times I go, you know what? Yeah, Metallica sold a fuck ton more albums. They've done a whole lot more than what Megadeth has done, but there's still times when I sit down and I listen to the Megadeth catalog and I go, dude, yeah, I think they could be better. And again, I might be in the minority on that. I probably am, but you know what, dude? I fucking love me some Megadeth and their catalog, and I love cranking that shit up. And I've been enjoying the new record since I got it and just enjoying the shit out of it. So, you might also, sorry, I had to chew a piece of ice there for a second. What you might also realize if you're watching this is that, like, hey, Brian, why the fucking flannel? It's Florida. Well, let me just tell you, we are in the 5 days of winter of 2026 here in Florida, while everybody else is dealing with the ice and the terrible snow and all that shit. And I am doing a lot of talking with my hands tonight. I do that a lot, but for some reason tonight I'm like, woo woo, that fucking hand is going everywhere. So maybe I have to have 2 drinks in my hand next episode so I don't, fucking start flinging my hand all over the place. But anyhow, where was I? Oh yeah, Florida decided, you know what, we're not participating in that nonsense. And the last few days it was like 75 degrees, 80. It was beautiful outside. Today, oh, let me tell you, dropped down to like 60. And now it's probably like in the lower 50s. I'm telling you, dude, like I got to break out the footy pajamas tonight or something. It's insane. And it's too cold. So let me just tell you how I am. If it's below 70, I'm in a long sleeve shirt, a flannel, a sweatshirt, maybe both. It just depends. But my friends all make fun of me for that. But that's what happens when you live in a warm climate for so long. Like your blood thins out. You're like, dude, it's crazy. Like it's not that cold. Yeah, it is. Like, I'll never forget this time. And I know I've kind of jumped all over the place. How did I go from Megadeth to being in a flannel? Who knows? But I remember one time when I was living in Phoenix, And in Phoenix, 120 degrees in the summer. Well, one of those times during the summer, I went to visit my parents and friends in Southern California, and it's 80 degrees. And I'm wearing a sweatshirt because I'm fucking freezing. It sounds ridiculous. It's 80 degrees. I'm by the beach. And I can remember my mom going, "Hey, are you sick?" And I'm like, "No, I'm cold." She's like, "What? It's 80 degrees." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you have to understand, it's 40 degrees difference, right? Like 120 in Phoenix, 80 in LA, 40 degree difference. That's cold. You know, it's like if you were in a 80 degree climate and you went to 40, yeah, it's going to be cold. And it seems ridiculous, but it's definitely true. Trust me, my friends. And I will totally admit, I'm definitely a puss when it comes to cold weather. No doubt about it. But you know what? I got a handful of fucking flannels, and I love when it gets cold for that 1 week because I'm like, yeah, bring out the flannels. Hell yeah. So that's kind of it. Just, you know, quick and to the point, keeping it under 20 minutes as I like to do. And thank you to everyone who has participated in some way, shape, or form by liking, subscribing, sharing, all that nonsense to the podcast. I hope you guys continue to do so. Feel free to pick up a cool shirt if you want. Also, remember, the BrianShaw.com website still has all the episodes up there, so you can always get caught up if you don't want to deal with the nonsense of YouTube. You're certainly welcome to go over there. Going to be adding some more stuff to that website as the weeks and months go on, so that's going to be cool. Going to put up some old interviews that I did on the radio. We're going to put some of those up on the website. And you can buy a shirt straight from the website if you like, and have some photos up there from my career and all that kind of stuff going on. So lots of cool stuff happening. As I mentioned before, we're going to get to the interview type of stuff that I'm going to be doing with some guests. I think you guys are going to dig that. So lots of cool stuff happening as we kick off, 2026. I'm excited about the podcast, the new website, just all kinds of cool shit's happening right now. And, minus the back, everything is doing fucking awesome. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Much appreciated. Enjoy yourself an ice cold beverage, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe. You dig?
God bless the internet.